guys, we are moving right along, kind of slowly. I've been losing interest here the past couple of weeks, and it's just something you go through. Oh man, that giant scratch in my toolbox. Where the hell? Holy shit! Something fell because it nicked my trim too. Oh, I've had that box for like a year and a half now. That might be the first scratch in it. That pisses me off. If I left it together, I'd probably be driving it every day. But I didn't. I took it apart. Like I said, I'm much happier with it now. I am so ready for it to be done now. I started making my water lines for my tank. You can see those here. I use Monkey Fab fittings. I know a couple people sent me a message about a more budget-friendly AN fitting that I would recommend, and I use a ton of Vibrant. I solely use Vibrant, but I'm like, let me order these and see what they're like. But Monkey Fab Garage, these fittings are the cat's ass, man. They're good fittings. But we got in the water line set. I got to order some bulkheads to go through the fender. I think I can fit a 6-gallon in the tent in the trunk without minimal stuff moving, so I'm gonna run bulkhead. And I had all this dash 16 hose left over. So what I'm gonna do is once it goes through the bulkhead, I'm just gonna use push lock hose from there all the way to the tank. Need a pump, need a tank, need a finish line, need some fitting. Sorry, I'm exhausted. But we are about to fire this thing back up. There's not much left needed to be done. Probably hook up my throttle cable. I'm still waiting for a throttle cable bracket. But I gotta put the engine grounds back on. They were bolted to the lower frame rail, which are now gone. So I need to hook those back up. I gotta fill it up with water. I went out and got ShopRite's finest race coolant and got 5 gallons of distilled water. They told everyone I talked to says, well, old timers, this was years ago with my Honda, run distilled. It doesn't have the impurities of all the other water, and it won't corrode the crap out of the inside of your system. So I got 5 gallons of this, and I got a bottle of Royal Purple Max Ice, or it's like a water wetter. I'm gonna do that. I gotta get Derek on the phone. He's gonna let team view in, play with the tune a little bit so it's not just dumping fuel at idle. We bleed this and see if there's any leaks in my new radiator. I think I'm gonna jack the front of the car up to help with filling the radiator in the back. I'm a little nervous about one spot on the radiator that welded like crap. I hope it doesn't leak, but you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So let's get moving, because it's not going to finish itself with me sitting here. Find a home for these. I can't finish filling the water. There is a pinhole through the weld on the radiator. That's the only one I see. I don't see anything else, so I'm gonna chalk that up to successful. And it's a pinhole because I was still am learning how to end the arc, and that's exactly what it is. It's that pinhole you get at the end of an arc. I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna weld that. I think I might just drain the radiator back out. I mean, it's not hard to drop it down. I might just drain it, take the lines off, drain it, and put it back on the bench and just fix that one spot. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Kind of don't want to do it. Okay, grounds are done. I nut inserted into both frame rails and bolted them down. bolt tighten them on the block. Coil harnesses are in. 3 spark plug wires are going in. Still gotta move the fan wiring. Forgot about that. Oh, my fan's not too loud. Let's give it some power. See if it rolls over. Who knows? What happened there? Something happened to my horn. I don't know what. That was weird. For whatever the reason, my relay was stuck on. Thank God it was just for the horn. Yeah, I don't smell fuel. Let's I don't know, maybe crank it. Always something. Every time I go to freaking start this car again, there's always something broken. If it's not one thing or another. Go to start it, no starter. Why? The wire's off the solenoid. Runs like shit, but it runs again. I gotta fix the radiator. Once I fix that, I'll call Derek up and have him team view into my laptop and adjust this thing, and get it to run better. Tore the radiator out, so I got a small leak right here. I'm pretty sure it's the only one. I'm gonna weld it, and what happened was, it's a pinhole from where I let off the pedal on the welder too fast, and it caused a crater. That's where it's leaking from. Just simple, new crap. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld that up, and I'm gonna completely fill this thing with water, and make sure it's got no more leaks before I stick it back on the car. I don't think it does, because I looked at it, but I want to make sure, because I don't think it was full enough to get up to these upper fittings and test those. I'd rather do it now while it's out of the car. we are leak free. I didn't see anything. Everything looked good. Let's put it back in the car now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to put this under the car and let it hang with the hoses hooked up and tight, and pour the water in up front, so this will definitely gravity feed to it. Okay, so the radiator back there, I was loosening the fitting because there's so much air in there, it's not allowing it to suck down. So I'm going to try breaking free the steam port and seeing if that works. Oh yeah. You see that thing just suck down? Holy shit. Talk about airbound. Pretty sure everything's full that I can do without the car running. I guess we'll try to start it, see how that goes. Last part of the cooling system that I have to change is I gotta get the fan wiring to the back of the car now. It's not up front anymore. You gotta have some pretty heavy duty wiring. This is 10 gauge. The problem now is your relay is on your relay board behind your dash, and you gotta run it now instead of, 3 feet, you gotta run it 9 feet, 10 feet back. And the problem with that is you'd have to run some huge wire all the way back, and it just doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I pulled out, this was the original fan harness that came off the relay board. The best bet now is I'm going to take my relays, I got a bunch of extra relays, and I'm going to put it in the back, and the only thing I'm going to run from the front to back is a signal wire to turn it on. And what I'll do is I'll grab battery power, so what I got is a small panel, because my fuel pump relays are back there as well. I will put a small panel in off the battery, off of the other side of the, damn, I can't think of the name, the battery kill. Because you don't want a straight battery, you could shut the kill switch off. I mean, the fan won't be an issue, but the fuel pump would be. So you want to, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get direct power for it, wire in my relay, run a trigger wire straight back, and we'll be all set with this. Fan wiring. There's the original plug. I got to get like a grommet or something to come up through the floor here. There's my relay half setup. The ECU provides a ground signal, so I have power coming in on, what pin is that? I'm sorry. Pin 86 and jumping over to 30. You can see it's just jumped over. This will come straight from the battery. And on pin 85 is where my signal is going to come in from my ECU. And the last pin in the back, pin 87, that's going to go out to my fan. So that'll be on the other end of this. I'm going to install it in down in the corner in here. And this is my fan wiring running through, and it should be all set from there. Then we can test the fan with the MS3, because you could just turn the fan on in the settings. All the fan wiring's done, everything's terminated, everything's buttoned back up, everything's zip tied, everything's taped, it's done. Now let's see if it works. Okay, I'm stupid. I forgot that it was called idle in the computer instead of fan. So it's really cool. I don't know if all computers are doing this. You got test modes, so I can turn the the fan on right here, and I can pulse it if I want, but the fan is on. Everything's working. I don't know what happened there. It was set up to be a pusher when I could have sworn it was a puller. So I just flipped the wires on the connector and it's spinning the right way. I probably mixed it up when I cut the harness and everything. But let me tell you, that's one way to clean my floor. It just blows everything off the floor. It moves some serious CFM. That ball fan is no joke. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I knocked a bunch of things off the list. The coolant system is 100% done now. Now I'm down to nitpicky little stupid things. Guys, get out in the garage. It's almost June. That's my deadline right now. Grab a cold beer, grab an iced tea, which I'm going to grab now. Grab some tools, get working on your hot rod, guys. Have a good one.